So here we go. Is it against the law to paint a wooden ladder in Alberta? Is it illegal to climb a tree? Can you own a pet sheep? Is it a federal crime to own a comic book? Is it a crime to swear in public in a public park? Is it illegal to whistle or sing or throw snowballs? Is it illegal to attract a crowd? Well, we're going to answer those questions. Now, I'm not saying that I know all the answers. I've done some research. So, yeah, I could be wrong about some or even a lot of this stuff, but I don't think I am. But if I am, hey, at least I'm making a video and I'm putting it out there. And maybe it'll make people think or smile or say, you gotta be kidding me. And then you'll look it up on Google and say, oh, she wasn't kidding. So let's get to it. First of all, I could find no evidence for the law stating that it is illegal to drag a dead horse down Yonge Street in Toronto, Ontario, on a Sunday or any other day. I suspect that's one of those urban legends, but it is still illegal against the law to deface a penny, even though pennies were taken out of circulation in 2013. And to deface is defined as scratching it, drilling a hole in it, and so forth. Uxbridge, Ontario, not only put a legal limit on internet speed, they also only allow 2 dogs per household. Doesn't matter how big your house is. In Quebec, the province of Quebec, it is illegal to turn right on a red light. Mississauga, Ontario, has a bylaw about clotheslines. Where you hang your wet clothes, you can only have one, and it has a height limit, and it has to be at least 1.25 meters, which is 4.12 feet from your property line. Souris, P-E-I-S-O-U-R-I-S, Prince Edward Island, has a bylaw about building snowmen taller than 76.2 centimeters or 30 inches tall. I don't know if that's still the law, but it was. Also in Souris, Prince Edward Island, it is illegal to knock on a door or to ring a doorbell after 10 p.m., quote, to disturb or annoy any person, end quote. I guess disturbing or annoying people before 10 p.m. is okay. In a lot of places in Canada, I don't know if it's a national law, but in a lot of places it's against the law to leave a child unattended in a vehicle. And in Quebec, their highway safety code bans leaving a child under 7 years of age unattended in a vehicle. The fine is over $100. Did you know that it is illegal to bring a pig, a goat, a cow, a sheep, or live poultry into a national park in Canada? In Beaconsfield, Quebec, your house can only be a maximum of 2 colors, or you face a fine. Now, I do know about this next one. It's illegal to transport liquor, alcohol, from one province to another. Yeah. As of 2012, wine can be transported without the permission of the province's Liquor Control Board. Now, I don't know if you need the permission of the province you're leaving or the province you're going to, but yeah, it's a thing. Some jurisdictions, such as Hay River, Northwest Territories, say that it's illegal to use a dog sled on a sidewalk. That sounds like a pretty good one. In Prince Edward Island, you are supposed to honk before passing a vehicle. I mean, if you're driving a vehicle. You're supposed to honk before passing a vehicle to signal your intent to pass the vehicle. There is a $25,000 fine if you use a radio receiver to track a collared animal in a national park. but that does not apply to all national parks. It's illegal to climb a tree in Oshawa, Ontario, or interfere with a tree or part of a tree on municipal property, or attach, affix, or place upon a tree any object or thing. So no tree houses in Oshawa, I guess. Section 296 of the Criminal Code in Canada used to state it was illegal to ridicule Christianity. Publishing blasphemous libel was an indictable offense, punishable by up to 2 years in jail. The law was repealed in 2018, deemed incompatible with current political and civil rights. It's illegal to scare a sick person or a child to death. Section 222, 5D of the Criminal Code. And it is illegal to illegally alarm the king or queen. Section 49 of the Criminal Code. It's an indictable offense and you could face 14 years in jail. If you scare or tease a cat that is in a cat trap in Red Deer, Alberta, that's a $510 fine. In Wetaskiwin, Alberta, it is illegal to tease, torment, injure, or annoy any animal. The first offense is $100, a $100 fine. The third offense is a $500 fine. Also in Wetaskiwin, ice skating on a road will bring you a $78 fine. In Calgary, Alberta, it is illegal to do anything which is likely to attract a crowd outside of areas where crowds are specifically allowed. In Summerside, Prince Edward Island, and in Toronto, Ontario, it is against the law to swear in a public park. Toronto Municipal Code prohibits riotous, boisterous, violent, threatening, or illegal conduct, or the use of profane or abusive language. The fine is over $200. I don't think it's ever been enforced. Also in Toronto, you cannot hold more than 2 garage sales or yard sales or jumbles per year in a residential zone, and each sale cannot last more than 2 days. In many jurisdictions in Canada, snow and ice clearing or removal must be done within 24 hours of a snowfall. The problem is, with bigger cities, it can be snowing in one part of the city, but it's not snowing in another part. And also when there's an ongoing snowstorm, when does the clock start? That's been a sore spot with a lot of people, including in Edmonton. Dawson City, Yukon, has a pretty good law. It says it's illegal to destroy a highway. I think that's a good law. Don't destroy highways. Jasper, Alberta, it's illegal to use a motorized lawnmower before 10 a.m. on weekends. That sounds pretty good too. Makes a lot more sense than the snow clearing bylaw. And the snow clearing bylaw only extends to residential properties or certain types of business properties, but not all. So you can go to Walmart or Home Depot or wherever, and they have absolutely no incentive, no reason to clear any of the snow or ice. It's one of those things I think about as a disabled person. Now let's see. Let's move on to the comic books. According to the Criminal Code of Canada, Section 163B, from the 1940s until now, there were 2 different versions of this. One said it was until the 1970s, but the other said until 2018. So I'm not sure which one I would believe. But anyway, let's see. According to the Criminal Code of Canada, Section 163B, from the 1940s until, we'll go with 2018, it was illegal to possess, make, print, publish, distribute, circulate, or sell a comic book that depicted any criminal act. The law was so broad, pretty much any comic book could be considered illegal. The criminal code also criminalizes towing anyone on water skis, a surfboard, a water sled, or other object from 1 hour after sunset to sunrise. The Justice Law's website, section 365, discusses anyone who fraudulently pretends to use any kind of witchcraft, sorcery, enchantment, or conjuration. So being a witch in Canada is legal, but pretending to be one, not so much. And in much of Canada, it's against the law to drive your vehicle with a for sale sign in the window. Esquimalt, British Columbia, had a bylaw for years about throwing snowballs. It was illegal to throw a snowball within city limits. I figure that was put in place because somebody threw a snowball at the wrong person. Until 1995, it was against the law in Ontario to sell yellow-colored margarine. Now, here's one that almost made me want to delete my coin counting playlist, my coin counting videos, but then I thought, well, no, because I didn't break the law. While coins are legal tender in Canada, it's apparently against the law to pay for a purchase using too many coins under Canada's Currency Act. They only allow up to 20 $2 coins, or 25 $1 coins, or 40 quarters, or 100 dimes or nickels. Now, I had made an arrangement with a business to exchange a massive amount of coins I had with them because they're always looking for change and I wanted cash. So I'm not taking down my coin counting videos, at least not yet. In Sudbury, Ontario, you can get a $5,000 fine if you attach a siren to a bicycle. I don't know if the $5,000 fine is for attaching a siren to a bicycle or using it. Apparently a horn or a bell is okay as long as it does not as long as it is not deemed an unusual noise. Well, I tell you, if I got a $5,000 fine for something like a horn or a bell or a siren on my bike, I'd be making some unusual noises. Wow. Etobicoke, Ontario, allows a maximum of 8.9 centimeters or 3.5 inches of water in your bathtub. Petrolia, Ontario. Let's see, 11 p.m. to 7 a.m. there's a noise bylaw that prohibits yelling, shouting, hooting, whistling, or singing. I'm not sure how to pronounce the town or city name for this next one. I think it's Vaughan, but someone I know said it's Vaughan. So I'm not sure if it's Vaughan or Vaughan. Vaughan. Vaughan or Vaughan, Ontario, has a $500 fine for intentionally or unintentionally feeding wildlife, including birds, on your own property or on public property, feeding them or leaving food or attractants outdoors. Yeah, a 2020 bylaw. Stratford, Ontario, same kind of thing. It's illegal to feed wildlife. But in Stratford, Ontario, it's okay to feed swans. Having encountered some swans, they're about the last birds I would want to feed. They're not very nice. They're very territorial. And they have really, really sharp little teeth. Let's see. Snow Lake, Montana. Montana? Wow. Yeah, I know. I've been fantasizing about being able to move to the United States for a long time, so just ignore me. Snow Lake, Manitoba not Montana, Snow Lake, Manitoba, has a $2 annual licensing fee for bicycles and tricycles. And the town can impound bikes and trikes if they're not licensed. In Gander, Newfoundland, if your cat damages a plant, that's a $20 fine. It's also against the law in Gander to throw tacks, T-A-C-K-S, tacks, on a highway, or to use a playground if you're older than 10, or park within 200 meters, which is 656.2 feet, of an active fire. Red Lake, Ontario, says it's illegal to use a saw or a hammer between 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. And there's a $100 fine in Red Lake if you play a game in a municipal parking area. St. John's, Newfoundland. It is illegal to keep a cow in your home. Yeah. In Winnipeg, Manitoba, the responsible pet ownership bylaw regarding even-toed ungulates bans them, except for sheep. Apparently, you can have a pet sheep. In Alberta, it is illegal to own, breed, or sell a rat. But Port Coquitlam, BC, has a 4-pet rat limit. It's against the... Okay, this is legit. This one cracks me up because I think of all the DIY people who do this exact thing, okay? It is against the law in Alberta to paint a wooden ladder. It's still on the books. It's in the Alberta Occupational Health and Safety Code. In Edmonton, Alberta, it is illegal to cause a disturbance to a person by your cat's howling or meowing. And it's illegal to ride any animal on a sidewalk in Edmonton. It's also illegal to roller skate, inline skate, or skateboard, or ride a scooter or other similar vehicle on any sidewalk in various parts of the city. And quite frankly, when I looked at all the areas where you're not supposed to do that, it's mind-boggling. Just wow. So if you are in Edmonton and you decide to roller skate, inline skate, skateboard, ride a scooter, or other similar vehicle on a sidewalk in Edmonton, you better have a look at the very long list of where you're not supposed to do it, because you don't want to get a fine. In Edmonton, Alberta, when you parallel park, your right tires must not be more than 500 millimeters. Oh shoot, I didn't convert this. Must not be more than 500 millimeters from the right curb or edge of the roadway. I gotta look that up. Doggone. I'm gonna post that in the description. 500 millimeters. My brain is just not working tonight. Not for that. Also in Edmonton, it is technically illegal to crowd, jostle, or harass pedestrians. Personally, I've never known that to be enforced. And there are a lot of people, including some police and bylaw people, who do just that. But let's move on to more pleasant things. In Myers Lake, Ontario, there's a bylaw that prohibits whistling, singing, and shouting. What are the hours for that? 24/7. That's right, 24/7. No whistling, no singing, and no shouting. Okay then. There's a $365 fine in Toronto for feeding wildlife or birds or causing them to be fed in public and on your private property. So if you have a picnic or a takeout meal, drive-through window, don't you dare drop a French fry. Oh my. The Ontario government website advises people to, now this is on their own private property, the Ontario government advises people to, quote, attract wildlife to your property by improving natural habitat, end quote. But the website also advises people to keep wild animals wild, don't approach wild animals, and don't allow your pets to roam free. And don't put out your garbage or household waste until the morning of collection on your own property. I'd say that stinks. Vancouver, British Columbia, and Victoria, British Columbia, big tourist hotspots in Canada. Well, it's illegal to feed animals and birds, and it's illegal to not prevent wildlife from accessing sources of food on private property and public property. So on your private property, if you have fruit trees, berry bushes, vegetable gardens, they could nail you for, not just feeding animals and birds, but for not preventing wildlife from accessing sources of food. Even if it's a wild rabbit eating your grass. Yikes. That's a $500 fine. And it includes all beaches and parks in Vancouver. And it's a $350 fine in Victoria for feeding raccoons or deer, and a $125 fine for feeding anything else. Edmonton, Alberta has the same kind of bylaws. It's illegal to feed birds, wildlife, stray cats, feral cats, but the language is very vague, and the vague language is subjective, not objective, using terms like if you feed wildlife or birds or feral cats, stray cats, in a way that leads to a nuisance condition or health risk or public safety risk. So would that be a health risk to the animals or to the people? I don't know. But who decides what is a health risk? Who decides what is a nuisance? Well, why the city, of course. Isn't that convenient? Halifax, Nova Scotia. If you drive a taxi, you cannot wear a t-shirt. You have to wear a shirt or military type blouse with a collar and sleeves, ankle length trousers, or dress shorts. And apparently the shorts have to be a certain number of centimeters from your knees, and apparently you have to wear socks. In Tisdale, Tisdale, in Tisdale, Saskatchewan, dog owners have to clean up all dog poop from their own property every single day, or the owner will get a $250 fine per offense. Now, I'm not sure if the per offense is per day it's not cleaned up, or if it's per doggy deposit. Tisdale and Estevan, Saskatchewan, have bylaws that state female dogs that are in heat have to be kept indoors, but at least Estevan allows the dog to go outside to use the lawn. In Victoria, BC, it is illegal for a balloon artist to demand payment for their work. And it is illegal for two bagpipe players to play at the same time on the same street in Victoria, BC. Well, I hope you enjoyed at least some of these. I know some of them are cringeworthy. Thanks for sticking around to the end, and I hope you have a great day. Till next time. Bye.